What is up, guys, and welcome to Casual Play for the month of December. Battlefield 4, this is the new Operations Free DLC. Vehicle Free 4, why are you giving me the option to put it there then? And basically this is one of Battlefield 2's maps, and this is the remastered version. And it is really nice to see that they are still supporting Battlefield 4, just because it was such a good game. It's one of my favourite multiplayer games, and if you've been watching any of the Casual Play streams, you'll know that I do play it quite a lot. And it's good to see that they are still supporting it. And of course, it has been sort of announced that... okay, I definitely shouldn't have been able to kill him there, but I'll take it. I didn't even realise I had a shotgun, but I'll take it. But it's been announced, of course, that DICE are working on their new Battlefield game. But I don't think that's anything particularly surprising, really, is it? I mean... of course they were going to. I mean, we're going to have... I don't know what they're going to do with Hardline, because I was the person that really liked the single player in that, but not so much the multiplayer. So it'll be quite interesting to see where we go. But yeah, no, it's definitely good to see anyway that it is in development. I seem to be lagging again slightly. As soon as I get back on the Nvidia card, this is going to be so much easier, and I won't have to keep lowering textures and things like that and just basically ruining it for everyone. But there we go. I'll just turn off ambient occlusion, see if that makes too much difference. Yeah, just knock that down to high. Really stupid, but there we go. Anyway, that is just what happens when you live stream, so I am very sorry to hear that. But we'll be going over the usual, what's going on. Last week's Casual Play, I went over the video plan of everything that's going to be coming up in the not too distant future. So you'll basically be able to see all of that in that video, and I won't go on about it too much in this one because I think that would be almost a little bit silly to sort of go on about that. But there we go. I'm just going to check some settings actually. I just want to double check that I'm not doing... Yeah, no, encoding rate is fine. Okay, encoding rate is fine. Yes, because the last thing I want to do is have a laggy stream like I know I did once by accident, so we won't do that again. But yeah, it's almost Christmas. It's just, what is it, a week and 2 days at the time of streaming / time of filming. And it's gone really quick. This whole year, I have to say, since summer, has been going insanely quick. And they say as you get older, time goes quicker and quicker. And I guess it really does. So I'm not looking forward to being in my late 70s and then time must just go insanely quick. But especially when you're as busy as I am at the moment, just day-to-day stuff, I just haven't even really had a chance to sort of sit down and get cracking on any of the games that I've been sort of piling up either. It's been a case of review it, get it out, review it, get it out, and then not really pick it up since, which is a shame because Fallout deserves an awful lot of time. I really enjoyed playing Just Cause 3, and I want to get into that more. I've got Dirt Rally that I need to start testing, and... what else was there? Of course, there was Battlefront, Star Wars release day tomorrow. So I almost would have liked to be a little bit more in a Star Warsy mood, but unfortunately I'm not. Just I am, but not as much as maybe as I would like. And then what's the other one? Call of Duty. I haven't picked that up in ages, and I did enjoy that. Still running off this Acer monitor as well. Really do need to get some more testing of the other two that I've gotten, the AOC FreeSync and the Asus FreeSync. But at Christmas time we're just going to basically get all the reviews done out the way. Not rushed, don't worry. I actually have time. I've got some time off work to get everything done. And then just as a reminder, if you haven't been following what's been going on, we have the OLED project. Hasn't been delivered yet, but I'm assured it's still on track. If it's not on track, I probably will cry because... you know, it's the only time it can happen, basically. So the time scale was very strict from when I suggested it 2 months ago. So hopefully there won't be any problems there. But it's been confirmed, so there's no reason for it not to be. Hello to everyone in the comments. Gaming Links, am I early? Well, you are early, I guess. Early on, we've been going for 4 minutes now. But I actually had to download this particular map before we could get going, and as always stupid internet decides that rather than running at the full speed I'm going to run at 2 megabits a second, which is just brilliant when you pay for essentially 150, so that took a little bit longer than anticipated to download, but we're there now anyway. The map looks really cool as well. I'm running in a tiny window in order to play this, because I'm only running off the single monitor, a tiny window, so it's not the best way to experience it, but it looks pretty good, looks pretty neat. I like the way it's nice and colourful. Battlefield hasn't really been that colourful, apart from in the revamped maps actually, so it's quite cool to see that. Right, let's get back on there and let's actually get some gaming. So yeah, hello to everyone in the comments, and if you have any questions, then this is definitely the time and the place to do it. So we'll start with Proudy 2001. What's better, 144 Hz or 60 Hz? Is it worth it? I've probably missed out slightly a bit what you said there. Oh no, that is exactly what you said. That's exactly what you said. Well, it's always going to be a 144 Hz monitor. The only time it might not necessarily be is if you have the choice of running, say, 4K or running at 144 Hz at 1440p, and then it's going to depend on the game. Generally speaking, with a controller, the difference isn't necessarily worth it. For controller-based games, I know some people may well dispute that, but I find with a controller the difference is less noticeable. It certainly is noticeable, but the high refresh rate improves the feel of the game if you're using a mouse, and is the main thing that I would say. So if you're playing a game like Battlefield, like we are now, then that's where that's really going to help you basically be better at the game by running at a higher refresh rate, and then everything's smoother, you've got more reaction time. So the two main things are whether you're using a mouse or a controller, or joystick or whatever peripheral you're using, or whether you are, it depends on the game you're playing as well. So if you're playing a racing game, in my opinion, it doesn't make as much difference as if you're playing a first-person shooter. But yeah, it basically depends on the pace of the game. Something like Civilization, I deliberately chose to run at 60 frames a second rather than 120, just because I'd rather have the GPU running a bit cooler, the fans running quieter, and then it was nicer for me just to sit in a room and relax. And I didn't notice the loss of frames. I just did notice that the fans on the GPU weren't spinning. Brosy, hello. How are you doing? Best GPU, not Hoi. I don't know how you got Hoi instead of GPU. Best Hoi. Best GPU for a $500 PC. GTX 950 or something from AMD. Well, basically, unless you want to use any of the NVIDIA specific features, I would say go the AMD option and get yourself a FreeSync monitor, because it really does make a big difference. I don't know why I still have that shotgun. I should have changed it a long time ago, but there we go. So yeah, I would go with a FreeSync monitor because there are more and more coming out. AOC released a press release today, or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday actually, basically going through a few more monitors, and sure enough they are pretty much all the ones announced have AMD FreeSync, which is pretty cool. So there's going to be more and more of those, and it's going to be more and more worth having something that can take advantage of that. Of course, you could go down the NVIDIA route, and if you don't care about G-Sync or anything, then it doesn't matter. But remember that G-Sync is going to cost you more money because you have to pay for the license fees and stuff like that when you're buying the monitor. But GTX 950 is a brilliant card, and it's probably the one I would have. But that being said, the cool thing about the GTX 950 as well is that you can put it in SLI if you have an SLI board, so you could maybe buy another one later as well. But then again, I suppose you could probably do the same thing with the AMD equivalent, but SLI works better. What is FreeSync? FreeSync, there's a video actually explaining all of this on the channel if you want to know it more in full detail, where I'm not trying to avoid fire from a tank, and unfortunately I didn't manage it. FreeSync is basically it has your monitor refreshing at the same refresh rate that your GPU can output. So if you're outputting 38 frames a second, you are seeing your screen refresh at 38 frames a second. This means you don't get any stutter or tearing, or at least in theory, so that's assuming it's a seamless incorporation of that. And essentially it just means that your gameplay is a lot smoother and a lot nicer, and it doesn't have any lag or visual anomalies like tearing. Did you hear the rumours of a new GTX 980 Gigabytes, no, but I haven't been listening to the news the last couple of days, unfortunately, too much. I always obviously stay in the loop, but no, I hadn't actually heard that. It would make sense, and the main thing that would tell you is that they don't want to release the next series of graphics cards just yet. They want to wait until they need to. So actually, from a business point of view, bringing out another 980 would make some sense, but then again, you've got the GTX 980 Ti, which has more VRAM, so not really sure it's needed. Well, it's not needed, but there we go. At Gaming Links, what GPU would you say would be good if I was to build a PC in 2 years? What do you mean, if you were literally going to build a PC in 2 years? What would be one of the modern ones that were out at the time? I wouldn't be able to say now. I guess it would partly depend on whether G-Sync is dying out as well. Still, I'm going to call it now that unless G-Sync has some magical feature that is better than AMD FreeSync, you are unlikely to see G-Sync go on for years and years to come. It would make sense that FreeSync would be more popular because it's cheaper and it's basically free for everyone to use. And open standards are the best way to go. I mean, it's good that G-Sync got it out there because it meant that there's a solution out there earlier. It got people talking about it. But at the end of the day, if they were the same technologies, why wouldn't you go for one that was free? You'd only go for the one that was best if you're going to pay more. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But obviously, Nvidia don't want to walk away from something that they've got out there. But if I was making a monitor, you're less likely in theory to sell it if it's going to cost more money and you're not even going to profit from that, because of course you've got to give the money to Nvidia for the licensing. Right, we're in a tank now. We mean business. Let's go. GT 420, mate. I'm pretty sure he's joking. It's not news. I just heard that. Don't take my word for it. Okay. Well, I probably wouldn't take your word for it, but I would have looked it up for sure. Probably will still look it up. How much is a good 1080p FreeSync monitor? You're looking anywhere from about, if you're US, probably about just under $200. In the UK, you can get them for as cheap as £150 if you look at some of the options. I don't know about other brands, but I know only because I've read the press releases that the AMD, the AOC ones will be in that budget of £200 or maybe about £120 or something like that. i5 now or wait for i7. i7 won't go down in price really, unless you're going to buy one back in the range. I would say i5 is the way to go, because even if you're looking at the i7 these days, the Skylake chips are so expensive for some stupid reason that it just makes it less of a good option, which is just a shame, because I would have bought one. But it's looking more and more like I will do the Skylake build with the i7, and then I will probably... Oh dear. Oh dear. And then it looks like I will probably go down the X99 route, would be my best guess. KIA. Any more questions? Keep them coming. You know where to put them. What else did I actually say in the description that we would talk about? Well, I said we approach the Christmas season, PC builds and cool projects. Well, PC builds, I suppose I've just alluded to it, but essentially yes, it looks like we'll be doing an X99 build. It's currently looking like I'm going to try and put it in the 900C from Corsair, which is their inverted case. The case of my personal choice is the Corsair Air 540, and that is the case that we'll be building the Skylake build in. But if we're going to be doing a new build and we're going to be making a video about it, it would make sense to put it in some new flash case, I guess. So that looks like the way we're going to be going, and I'll be giving you the full details near the time. But obviously, one thing at a time. Skylake build is first, and we'll be getting that done. I ordered some fans for it as well, some Corsair LED fans, ones for static pressure and for airflow, because of course you want the static pressure ones where you're doing things like using radiators, and then for chucking the heat out of your case, the airflow ones are going to perform, well, at least they should perform the best. What server you on? That one. If that helps you. That doesn't help you, it doesn't say, does it? I don't know, just a Dragon Valley one. I never pay attention. I was in a hurry. Are you excited for Star Wars? I am, yes. And it's good to see that the Metacritic is sitting about 80, which basically doesn't tell me that it's the best film ever, but it doesn't tell me it's rubbish, which means that I'm going to go in there and try and enjoy it. Whereas if you go in there knowing the film's really good, I think your expectations are set too high. Whereas if you go in with low expectations, then you might just be like, oh, it's going to be crap. And while you might be pleasantly surprised, obviously it's probably going to be crap. So, yep, no, not too bad. Alistair has just got his 6700. He's just about to build his PC. Got any tips when building? There's actually a video on the channel. It's a little bit old now, so it might feel slightly dated. But it's essentially about tips for building your first machine. First one, the biggest one, is make sure you allow yourself plenty of time. Some people will laugh at you, but I will say you need to make sure you have at least 4 or 5 hours free. And yes, I've built a PC in half an hour before, but that is about the 10th one I built. So the very first time you're going to make some mistakes, you're not going to understand how stuff works, and it doesn't matter how many videos or walkthroughs and things like that you're going through. There is stuff that people won't tell you. These videos that you will watch are edited, and as someone that's filmed these videos before, we make mistakes, we cut out the mistakes, we film it again until it looks seamless and easy to follow. The reason we don't leave the mistakes in is because then it's not very clear and it's not really going to help you. So yeah, make sure you allow yourself plenty of time. The other thing is know your components. Make sure that everything you've sort of ordered is going to work together. And it's probably a bit late now if you've already ordered your parts, but I would strongly suggest that you go for a large case for your first build. The case I'm using at the moment, the Corsair 350D, is a little bit on the small side, and personally you have to make a few compromises that I like the case. It's been ideal for what I needed it for, because I needed something slightly smaller, but I still wanted room for stuff. But if you're building, it's so much easier just to be able to have a nice big case where you can easily reach in and get everything you need to do done without having to worry about blocking fans or RAM slots and things like that. So go with a big case. Do you hear EA already talking about the Battlefront sequel? No, not really. But there's, it doesn't. I don't know why it bothers me. They're a business. Of course they're going to talk about that. I'm pretty sure they're talking more about the Battlefield sequel at the moment. You might have heard both, but if I was going to guess, I'd say you probably heard about the Battlefield sequel. Kill him. Yes, there we go. I was going for the 200R. 200R, yep, that shouldn't be a problem, I don't think. I think that's pretty big. Got everything you need in there. It's just for your first build, I wouldn't suggest going with an ITX build. Isn't too bad, I suppose, depending on the size of your case, because it's obviously less stuff. But yeah, just go for a big case, and then of course you've got the benefit of upgradability as well. But yeah, make sure you've got plenty of time. And if you get a little bit stressed about something's not working properly, don't be afraid to go and just leave the room, have a cup of tea, sit down, have a chat with someone, because you can get a bit exasperated when you've spent all your money on something and it's not quite going the way you want it to do. But so just take some time. I know that out of the 3 builds that I've done for people that's not me, I know they tend to go a lot quicker and a lot seamlessly, because you're moving at a faster pace, not because you don't care about the components or anything like that, but just because I guess you're not being overcautious, and you just get on with it, and you're not stressed because it doesn't really make that much difference to you if it doesn't work, I guess. Battlefield 4 seems harder than Battlefield 3. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I'm just playing off quite a small screen, I think, is the thing here. No, I'm not doing very well. Normally I do better than this. I don't like live streaming on this monitor though, because it's just like, literally the screen is tiny. Look, I'll show you. Absolutely tiny. Look, here you go. That's what I'm playing with at the moment. Not very big. Back. Oh dear, I've missed. Let's try that again. There we go. That should be about right. Cool. Let's continue. So yeah, now you got to see the inside of the setup. We've got a new desk running here as well at the moment. And this desk is a lot bigger, got more room. Nicked it from work. They were having a clear out and moved office, which was pretty cool. I think you're going to build with a friend. I would suggest doing that. It's probably easier if you have someone there, especially if they've got experience building PCs. It does make it a whole lot easier. So my mum is going to buy me an Xbox One for Christmas. It's the best only fat nerds play on the PC, Kappa. Doesn't really make much sense, mate, what you said. So, yeah. And yeah, I think we're caught up with the comments. We're caught up with the comments. If you have any more, keep them coming in. And then, I suppose, really, there's some other cool projects I mentioned. I basically want to get back into the simple guides thing a little bit more. I haven't done one in quite a long time, and I always get asked questions about these things. And as we've proved today, when there are questions, I can point people to videos I've done. And so it makes it a lot easier if I've done the video and it explains everything in nice and detail. I've done plenty of research, and then I can basically point you to that video. So I've done a few. I know I've done one on VRAM. I've done one on mechanical keyboards. I've done one on 4K TVs, 4K gaming, stuff like that. Ones we've got upcoming. I imagine we will get the OLED one done in the next couple of weeks, because obviously that OLED TV is coming. The price as well is about £2,200, which is really good. It's probably worth buying, to be perfectly honest, if you've got a load of money. It's almost certainly the best 55-inch TV, because I don't know if there's even any others available to buy in 55-inch from other companies, and OLED is amazing. But I guess probably should wait till I've actually got the TV, but I've seen it a few times at different shows, and it's always blown me away how good it is. But yeah, it could be completely wrong. But bearing in mind I've read all the reviews anyway, this is pretty safe to say, probably not, but there we go. Easy. I know he's here. I know he's here. Where is he? Oh, there we go. Thank you. I'll take it. Any other simple guides? I guess I'll just think of them as I go, really. It's normally the way I tend to operate when it comes to things like that. FreeSync, there definitely be one, because I've had quite a few questions about that. So whether FreeSync is better than G-Sync, vice versa, and all of that stuff. Parachute, yes. Parachute down, yes. This map is very nice, very pretty, has to be said. So even you compare this to Fallout, and this just blows it away, and this is significantly older than Fallout. I know it's a different engine, but there we go. OLED, organic light emitting diode. So organic, basically, the organic component is where it emits its own light source, so each pixel is individually on or off, and individually lit, so you get perfect blacks, and in theory your colours can be better because you're not worrying about over or under saturating other pixels from a backlight. This will be properly explained in the full video. Hold on, someone come in. There he is! Yes! So we roll. I'm not really going to do much damage there, am I? Easy, easy. Do you like the PS4? Getting one for Christmas and building a PC over the course of a couple years. I do like the PS4. I don't tend to use it that much these days, just because I'm obviously a PC gamer. But yeah, no, it's definitely it's a good console, and it's nice to be able to bang the disc in and for it to work. And if you've seen the Uncharted 4 gameplay trailer that came out, the sort of cinematic, I suppose we should call it, not gameplay trailer, it looks so good. And Uncharted games always do make the most of the hardware, so you have games like that, which is pretty cool. And I don't think anyone really has any real beef about Uncharted being a PlayStation exclusive, because Sony piles on all the money basically into Uncharted, which helps it to be as good a game as it is. So yeah, no problem there. What DAC or sound card do you use? At the moment, I don't have a dedicated DAC for the computer, because I'm running off optical, and it's not really going to make any difference, because obviously it's a digital signal, and that's going into an AV receiver at the moment. But I will be upgrading the speakers to some sort of PC speakers, but they'll have a dedicated DAC built in, and again I'll be feeding that with either optical or coax, but I imagine it'll be optical because I don't have a coax board. So more on that as it happens. Otherwise, I use a Bluesound node for my music listening, and that is with some Bowers and Wilkins speakers and a Marantz PM6005, I believe, amplifier. So that's what I use from an audiophile sort of thing. You said recommend a card for an AMD budget build. What AMD card do you recommend for a $500 build? I will have to double check because I'm not as good with dollars as I am with pounds, unfortunately. But you should always look. It's quite difficult on the smaller budgets, but almost like 20% of your budget you're looking to spend on a graphics card. And if you can't get a gaming grade one, then hopefully the bridge won't collapse. There we go, we're alright. And there's someone here. Oh, come on. Thank you. Where is he? This is focus now. Okay, I can't reach that far. Go. We're going. So yeah, about 20% of your budget. I mean, when you have a look online at some of these components, you'll sort of notice that it should, in theory, as long as you're following the sort of strategy. So AMD, at the moment, you're on the 3XX series. So it could be a 390X. Obviously, that's ridiculously expensive and out of budget. But as long as you're following that sort of trend, it should sort of make sense which cards you should be looking at. So if that kind of makes sense. It might change the loadout. Let's go for an engineer. If you follow me on Twitter, I don't know if you're not already, I'll take a look at it for you properly afterwards. Because I would do it now, but as I'm streaming, that's probably not a brilliant idea. So I will definitely answer your question. I promise, 100%. Just get me on Twitter afterwards at PCcentric. But yeah, I don't know if it is out of budget, but you are probably looking at the R9 280. Which is that how would you say your name is that? It's not Nikolai, is it? Or I'm really sorry if that's completely wrong. But yeah, I mean the 280, but that might be slightly out of budget. You have to price it up. Is Star Wars a good game? Star Wars Battlefront is a good game. I enjoy playing it. Just it's not as deep as something like Battlefield, which now you've got a ridiculous amount of maps and would keep you going for years. Well, I say for years until the new one comes out. But Star Wars Battlefront, while the game itself might not be as good, the fact that it's a good Star Wars game for me is enough. There's just a bit of a shortage of maps, but the gameplay I found to be really fun. So I recommended it in my Should You Play video. Do all AMD cards support FreeSync? That's a good question. I will need to double check that. I don't want to give you the wrong answer. I would assume that pretty much all of the current ones do, but I'm not entirely sure about the more budget ones. So you have to double check that. But literally, just Google it. Just Google FreeSync AMD graphics card support, and that should get you the answer. But I'm not entirely sure. I know Nvidia list all theirs, and basically any modern one will be fine. How did you start PC gaming? I just had a friend who was very interested in it, and ever since then, after sort of seeing what you could do, it just got me very interested. And then it just went from there, really. Just threw more and more money at the hobby, which is not always the best thing to do. Did it with photography as well. Now I think I'm going to be doing it with cars as I get older, hopefully become more financially better off. But yeah, I've always been a bit of someone that likes to plan and then spend all the money on one thing rather. I've never. I went through a terrible phase of never buying clothes. It was really bad. I was clean, don't get me wrong. You know, there's nothing like that. I just looked a bit of a scruff. Probably still am, but I'm better now than I used to be. Is the R9 380 faster than the 950? Performance is gonna be fairly similar. It's gonna vary from game to game, but if you basically again just go type in 380 review, it should have all the benchmarks up against each other, so that would be your clearest way to say, as I haven't personally tested them myself. Suggestions for music hardware like keyboards? Oh, I don't know. I had a Yamaha keyboard once, but I could tell you absolutely nothing about that, I'm afraid. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, not my zone. Is the Sound Blaster E5? Is that a question? Is the Sound Blaster E5? I'm afraid I'm not sure what you mean there. Cool. We'll be playing to the end of this game if you're wondering how long this stream is going to go on for. Careful, careful, careful. Oh dear, I'm asking for trouble. Ooh, he's got a shotgun. No, if I hadn't run out of ammunition, probably would have been alright. Unfortunately not. Right, I'm gonna try sniping. Try a website called CPU Boss, GPU Boss. I find that to be good, but it doesn't always give you benchmarks versus benchmarks. Something like Tom's Hardware is normally a good place to find benchmarks and things like that. Sniper rifle. Let's just bang this, whatever it is, to deploy. Let's go. Like the Calvin Harris song, let's go. There we go, sniper. Is this silence or something? It just sounds really quiet. Really need to play some more Battlefield and just games in general, really. I miss playing Battlefield. I miss having the time. This is the thing. This is one of the reasons I started doing YouTube, was just because it really annoyed me when you'd have all these channels that would go through all this cool PC and gaming hardware, but you could just tell they never played any games, and they told you they never played any games, and it really annoyed me. And here we are now, where I don't really play many games. That will change. Almost certainly that will change as soon as I actually have the time. Oi! Come on. Come on. Oh, how is that not even hitting him? Everyone's just gone now. Oh. How many hours do you play PC games a week? Last week, 0. If I'm honest. Maybe 1 or 2. Whereas I used to spend 5 hours a day without fail. So, yeah. In the ideal world, I would probably like to have 2 an hour and a half, 2 hour sessions a day, I guess. And if I was doing YouTube full time, I'm sure I would. But at the moment, by the time I get in and eat, it's getting on for 10 o'clock, and I get up about 7 AM. I just want to go to sleep. That's why, not because there aren't games to play, just I don't get that much of a chance. That said, when Batman came out, even though it didn't run that well and had to run at 30 frames a second, I did come in and just sit down and play that. Played about 22 hours in a week. So it is doable, just not so much at the moment. So yeah, the only real proper time I sit down and play a game is actually this, which I suppose is a good thing, good and bad. Dirt Rally though, I will be playing a lot more games because I need to get some Dirt Rally on the go. I should have got him. I should have got him there. And there's a tank. There's a tank. There's a tank. There's a tank. Oh, this is asking for trouble now. Bang. Yeah, it was always going to happen, wasn't it? Not very good. Ugh. Why are you playing Battlefield? What you like in it? I just find the gameplay to be fun. And this is the new map, free DLC map that came out as well, which is why we're playing this today rather than something else. And I need to use my keyboard. So yeah, that's why. Cool, let's go. I find it runs really well as well. All the DICE games seem to run pretty well, I have to say. How long do Battlefield matches last? Too long. This one's been going on this is about an hour-long game. I prefer ones that last 20 minutes. But for some reason, PC players prefer to have servers that go on for a lot longer than that, which annoys me a lot. Oh, I thought I was going to blow up there. It was alright. Oh, is the Sound Blaster E5 any good? Personally, I would go for something like more of a portable USB DAC, something like the what is it? The Audio Quest Dragonfly, because then you can take that with you with a USB drive and put it on any computer and things like that. I guess it depends on whether you need 5.1 surround sound and things like that, and whether you're using a USB headset, because if you're using a 3.5mm jack as your microphone, then you're going to benefit from a more dedicated PC sound card, but otherwise a USB DAC is probably the way I would suggest going. Alistair's just ordered a GTX 960, very good card, 4 gig. You'll have be playing some hardcore games on that, I'm sure. We'll run any of the latest games, no problem. What MOBO? I sort of missed the start of that question. What motherboard for what? I'm guessing a more of a budget build. Interestingly, you've got ASRock, which are saying that you'll be able to overclock the non-K CPUs, so it'd be interesting to see how that goes. It's not going to be as easy as a unlocked K processor, but it's pretty cool that you'd be able to do it. What GPU do you use in your PC? At the moment, running off an R9 Fury, which is great, but not so great for streaming. Oh! NVIDIA all the way, because you've got the hardware encoder actually on the GPU itself. Well, not on the GPU, but sort of kind of on the card itself, which means that you get better performance when you're streaming, and I have to say it makes a world of difference. Hi Thomas, how are you doing? He says hi Marcus. How much does Just Cause 3 cost? I'm sure you can get it fairly cheaply on some key resellers like CD Keys and things like that. I can't give you the exact price. And we're up to date on comments. Yay! Any more? Keep them coming. You've got to the end of the game, which looks like it will be about 5 to 10 minutes, would be my guess. Right, let's get some real focus now on the gameplay, because at the moment we've been talking shop. It's time to get real on this tiny little screen. Let's go. For everyone that is listening live, though, what are you sort of looking forward to of the things that I've mentioned, videos that are coming that I plan to do? What projects there are you sort of looking forward to? I think it will sort of help me decide the order in which that they go out on the level of priority. I'm trying to and get them all done as soon as I can, but you might find that one or two have to wait a little bit. Hopefully not, but as it's Christmas, things could slightly change, so let me know. What map is this? Dragon Valley 2015, which is a remastered map from Battlefield 2, I believe. It's quite cool, I like it. Oh, you're in there, getting tired already. And we got some graphical anomalies, only slightly. But there we are. Oh, that was a good jump. I like that. Good jump. Skylake, since you're building Skylake. Okay, well that, I've only got the processor for 2 weeks, so that definitely is. That's one of the reasons why I've taken time off to get that done, so that shouldn't be a problem. I imagine the way it will... Oh! I imagine the way that it will work will be that I sort of film it and then do it as sort of voice-overed. So I'll have an introduction and then go into voiceover. Just because I think it'll be much easier. And the last time I tried to do a PC build, it didn't quite work out as well as I'd like, because I had a couple of problems. But trying to like record audio and stuff at the same time just didn't really work. So I'm going to basically spend a whole day making sure that all the shots and things like that are nice and clear, and then I can give you a nice detailed guide afterwards without having to worry about everything. But yeah, Skylake, cool. I'm hoping that the video will do well. I'm also looking forward to doing the OLED project video as well. I really am. I still can't believe that there's going to be an OLED in the house. That's awesome. But yeah. Well, I believe this is pretty much the end of the game. I know the actual quality of my gameplay has been poor. I'm very sorry about that. But thank you so much for checking out this video. As always, really appreciate it. So every week, you guys are the elite. And I appreciate you joining me for this stream. Last question, tips on CPU installation. Only tip is that you shouldn't require any force to drop it in. Make sure you line up the arrows correctly. There's a little gold arrow on the CPU. Make sure you line that up with the arrow that's on the motherboard. Refer to your manual if you don't know where this is. And then when you're pulling down the sort of, what do you call it, the clamp basically that the CPU sits in. When you pull it down, that probably will require a bit of force and it might make a slight noise. But as long as your CPU is literally just dropped in, then literally just pull it down, tuck it in, and you'll be fine. I know it does make a little bit of a noise when you pull it down, but don't be alarmed. Just other than RAM, you shouldn't require any force to get it in, so I wouldn't worry too much. But yes, thank you so much. This was a short stream, 40 minutes. I'd say that's probably what I'm aiming for. I'm sorry, sorry if it's a bit short. I'll try and because I don't have another 40 minutes, I'm afraid. So yeah, no, I always try and like to do it from about 6:30 till 7:30. So sorry if that was a short stream. Yeah, so I think that's all I have to say really. So thank you so much for checking out this stream as always. Don't forget you'll be able to check out next week's stream at the same time, 6:30, as long as everything goes to plan. I'm doing a big moving down to Kent for a few days, basically to see family, and then we will be basically getting everything filmed from there. So thank you so much for checking out this stream as always. I really appreciate it. If you have any more questions that you want answered, then go to Twitter at PCcentric is the place to go, and I'll be able to answer your questions. Basically, if you want some advice on asking questions, as much as I hate to say it, if you sort of ask me 6 questions in a row, then I'm less not out of because I don't want to, but as I'm like I say, I'm quite busy. If you sort of ask 6 questions in quick succession, then I might have to sort of break your answers up into over a day. But if you ask me like one nice, clear, concise question on Twitter, I should be able to answer it straight away. So thank you so much for checking out this video as always, and I'll see you next week at 18:30, 6:30. Thank you so much. See you later.